On today's show, we'll show you why you can't consider the Blainville-Broisbriand Armada an underdog anymore. Another look at a trio of former CHL stars playing in the NHL. And we'll revisit the Spokane Chiefs' 2008 MasterCard Memorial Cup win.
Welcome to another edition of This is the CHL. I'm your host, Sam Cosentino. This week we follow the career path of former WHLer Kyle Ross from the dressing room to the courtroom. We take a stroll down memory lane with NHLers Jarrett Stoll, Drew Doughty, and Jordan Eberle. And we look back at a priceless moment in MasterCard Memorial Cup history. But first we head out to the Montreal suburb of Blainville-Broisbriand. The Armada has been one of the top teams in the QMJHL all season long. True to its team name, the Armada has earned a reputation for hard work and up-tempo puck-pressuring style of game. Upon meeting head coach and GM Joel Bouchard, it's easy to see why those trademarks are part of the Armada's repertoire.
Generally, when new teams are born into sporting leagues, they aren't expected to compete for titles and championships for years to come. Yet, when some of these teams exceed expectations and show they have the skill and drive to challenge the best of the best, they are labeled as underdogs and are considered long shots to sustain their competitive edge. The Blainville-Broisbriand Armada are a team that fits the identity of an underdog. Their owner, general manager, and head coach Joel Bouchard epitomizes its very definition, as he used grit, hockey smarts, and determination to achieve success in the NHL and now in the QMJHL. Their star player comes from the tiny Republic of Latvia, arriving in Canada with little fanfare, but will leave as one of the top players in the CHL with an NHL contract in hand. Their team captain played college hockey in St. Louis, Missouri, before returning home to Montreal and suiting up for the Armada. And their goalie has gone from a third-round pick in the QMJHL draft to one of the best young tenders in the league and a top prospect in this year's upcoming draft. The Armada have won over 40 games in each of their first 3 seasons in the league. They've won playoff rounds and are ranked as a top 10 team in the CHL. With all the success they've achieved in the past years, it appears as though the Armada are on the verge of shedding their underdog image and have to be considered as a top dog from here on out. For them, the only goal is to win the league's President's Trophy to earn a spot in this year's MasterCard Memorial Cup. Nikita Yevpalovs is one of the team's leading scorers. He hails from Latvia, a country not known for its hockey prowess.
It wasn't that big before, since 10 years ago, but now when we got the KHL team back home, Dynamo Riga, it became way more popular, and a lot of parents put their kids in hockey, and everybody go and watch their games, and it's pretty big now, and it's the level of Latvian players got better and better.
Although not drafted, his size and scoring touch make him an intriguing NHL prospect. So much so, the San Jose Sharks signed him to a contract just a few weeks ago.
They spoke to me my first year here, and they said they like how I play, but I need to improve a lot still. But since that, all the coaching staff helped me a lot and made me work hard every day and improved. And San Jose asked them about me, and they said I came a long way. And thanks to them, that turned out pretty good.
Moving from Latvia to Canada is a huge jump, especially when French is not a language he speaks, despite it being the native tongue for the Armada community and his billets.
It's actually, I could say that Quebec is really similar to Europe. They have some similarity here, but the only tough part for me was French, because I didn't really knew it, and my English wasn't that great before. Even French guys who don't really speak English, they trying hard, and it turned out pretty good.
His new family has made him feel at home, but his biggest fan is going to have a very tough time saying goodbye to him when his junior career comes to an end this spring.
Oui, ça va être très difficile pour la famille, pas juste pour moi, pour la famille. c'est comme un fils maintenant, c'est comme un frère pour les filles. Là, il va partir, on va ressentir la même chose que ses parents. Ça va être très difficile. Le cœur, ça va être dur, mais qu'il parte, mais on va aller le voir à San Jose. On va le suivre pareil, comme ses parents font à distance.
Joel Bouchard moved the Armada to this community, which is about a 40-minute drive north of Montreal. He spent nearly 14 years playing professional hockey in both the AHL and NHL, and it's his hockey-playing traits that are the very foundation of the team's identity.
Just a guy that was drafted in the 6th round by the Flames, was very excited about it, and had some quality as a hockey player, but stuff to work on, and went to the American League and worked hard with the guys that were in the organization of the Flames. Got a chance to play for a few years with them and move on to a few different teams. Got a lot of injuries, so I missed a lot of games because of injury, but at the other end, for me, it was kind of, I had to play that way. It was always a challenge because, you know, I was one of those guys that had to fight to keep his job all the time, which is fair and it's fine, it's life. And I was lucky because I always had people that believed in the NHL. I always had coaches or manager that always had a job for some reason. Even if I was hurt all the time, I always had a job. I always had people that say, you know what, when he plays well, and hopefully he can stay healthy.
The team's blue-collar attitude and overachieving mentality can be seen throughout the symbols and words hanging all over their locker room walls.
This is something we started. The first year of the franchise is obviously the Armada is a fleet of boats going toward war when they gather together. So we thought a paddle was kind of good and everybody paddled in the same direction. So we put a number for the player. The first player, first one we got, player of the game, and after that we have all the playoff win that we got. Every time we have a playoff win, and we go for every year. So we have the first year, second year, and third year, and after that we put on the brick the name and the number of the player. So every year there's a new paddle, and the guy can maybe come back down the road and see the paddle is still there, the success that we had with those guys, and the pride we have in having those guys being part of the Armada. So it's kind of something that we build year after year, a bit of a tradition that we have.
This team does things a little differently. That includes workouts for coaches before players arrive for the game. The team's captain is Daniel Walcott. He's a New York Rangers prospect who came to the Armada after playing college hockey in the States.
This is my second season as a Q player. I played at university before, so it was a lot different coming into a younger environment. My first day, I think I matured a lot more from my first day here. I was very offensive. I'm more of a two-way player right now. I think it's playing so many games in the season really helps a player develop, get more hockey mileage, and I think that's made me more mature as a player.
With all the playoff success they've had in recent years, team expectations for this spring are higher than ever.
Well, every year we want to go for the President's Cup, which is our Q championship. We have a different format from the other two leagues where the first place plays the 16. So it's really, when it comes down to the top 4 teams, it's usually the best teams, and it's hard to get through those rounds. But with our work ethic, I think it's paid off in the past where we've played some pretty big powerhouses and came out winners because of the way we work.
Samuel Montembeault is the team's goaltender. At 6'3", he's a large presence in net, and getting pucks past him has been difficult for competing teams all season long.
Yeah, I have a good glove, I'm quick, I have good puck tracking, good rebound control too. And Henrik Lundqvist is my idol since I'm like 10 years old. I want to be comparable to him, but I think my play can be comparable to Pekka Räty.
Montembeault's name will be called in this summer's NHL draft, and he is considered one of the top North American goalies available.
Before the beginning of the year, people really don't know me, but now they do. And when I go outside of the rink, I don't believe the hype, what the people say. I just came to the rink every day and work hard to be better.
Tonight's game against Bay Como Drakkar matches the Armada against the team that's knocked them out of the playoffs for the past 2 seasons. The Armada may be considered underdogs against the Drakkar because of their past playoff losses, but tonight, the Armada dominate them in strong fashion. It's just more proof that they aren't the underdog many considered them to be when they first entered the league. If anything, Joel Bouchard's team has built a program that not only isn't an underdog, but is a club that could be considered a favorite for years to come. After this break, we'll chat with Jarrett Stahl, Drew Doughty, and Jordan Eberle about their playing days in the CHL.
Now it's time to check out a couple of NHL players. Starting first with Jarrett Stahl, a great two-way player. Drew Doughty, one of the best defensemen in the game, and Jordan Eberle, on the rise in Edmonton.
Spado steals, tries to jam it in, loose puck in front, they score! Jarrett Stahl! Stahl walks in and scores another big goal of this series.
Although he's got 2 Stanley Cups under his belt, the first major triumph in Jarrett Stahl's career was a MasterCard Memorial Cup in 2002. He was the Kootenay Ice's most valuable player that season, and he captained the team to its first CHL championship.
The Memorial Cup in 2002, winning that, winning your last game in junior hockey, really, and we went to the Memorial Cup twice, and to win it was very special, and to bring that trophy back to Cranbrook. It's not a very, it's about 15,000 people, and very, very passionate fans there that loved hockey and loved junior hockey and loved the Kootenay Ice. So, yeah, a little parade we had, and it was a special time.
Stahl's 4 seasons with Kootenay were extremely productive, and he's still the franchise's all-time leading scorer. But moving more than 10 hours west from small-town Melville, Saskatchewan wasn't easy. Luckily, he has only great memories of his host family and also of being the first overall pick in the 1997 WHL draft.
Yeah, it was a big moment. You're 15 years old and you get the call, and my parents drove that stretch a lot, and watched a lot of games. I had a great billet family. I think that's very, very important to moving away from home at such a young age.
Stahl now plays a key role for the Los Angeles Kings, and he's teammates with all-star defenseman Drew Doughty. The London, Ontario native is always in the Norris Trophy conversation, an award handed out to the league's best defenseman. Doughty won the same award in 2008 while playing for the Ontario Hockey League's Guelph Storm, a time he still reflects on very fondly.
I had tons of memories, played with a lot of good players, a lot of great guys. I had a great billet family. I had great coaches, and there's not one thing I didn't like about playing in Guelph.
A 2-time Olympic gold medalist, the Kings blue liner owns a dynamic skill set that allows him to play free and loose. At any moment, he can dipsy-do around defenders, burst through the neutral zone, and bury shots with a wicked wrister. He demonstrated the same offensive prowess in Guelph, leading the team in scoring his second season. By the time he left, though, the Storm had helped him develop the other half of his game.
I was a forward growing up, so I kind of always had that offensive instincts. It wasn't really until I got to Guelph that I learned how to play defense kind of properly. I guess I kind of cheated a little more back then, and thought maybe a little bit more about offense than I do now.
Doughty's junior success made him the 2nd overall pick by the Kings in the 2008 NHL draft. Selected 20 spots later by the Edmonton Oilers was Jordan Eberle. Posting 310 career points in just over 250 games played, the young forward was an all-star for the WHL's Regina Pats. For a boy who grew up cheering for the team and whose family owned season's tickets, his 4 years donning the Pats sweater provided memories he'll never forget.
Being a hometown kid and playing in your hometown, I don't think there's anything better. Like I said, you just have so much family and friends to support you at games, and just knowing the city and being from there and coming from your roots, I definitely enjoyed my time there.
For his final season in 2010, Eberle piled up 50 goals and 106 points, en route to winning the CHL and WHL's Player of the Year award. The Pats honored Eberle by retiring his number 7 jersey in 2012. But despite the individual attention he received in Regina, what Eberle will remember most are the relationships he forged off the ice.
I still talk to a lot of teammates and friends from the teams that I played for. I don't think there's any closer relationship you gain being on the bus for 8 hours a day or being at the rink every day with these guys. So overall experience was pretty incredible.
When we return, we'll visit with a former WHL setter who turned his CHL scholarship into a career as a lawyer.
Kyle Ross played for the Red Deer Rebels before finishing up his career as a Regina Pat. CIS Hockey saw him play for the University of Regina and for the U of S Huskies. Ross used his WHL scholarship to pursue a career in law.
The CHL recognizes the significance that parents and players place on education. That's why the WHL and Canada West universities have teamed up to provide Western Canada's premier hockey scholarship program. After playing 5 years in the CHL, Kyle Ross is a prime example of a student athlete who took advantage of the WHL scholarship program.
It's just a huge advantage. It's something that you don't really realize is an advantage until you're able to utilize it. And when you get into classes and you start talking to people about what they have to do to pay tuition with their part-time jobs, or it makes you feel pretty lucky to have the scholarship the CHL provides. And when you're done too, not having the giant student loans that lots of people have, it's something that we definitely don't take for granted.
Ross knows what it takes to grind away on and off the ice, as he was an academic leader in the classroom while captaining the University of Saskatchewan men's Huskies hockey team to the 2012 Canada West Championship. And he did it all while carrying a 4.0 grade point average.
I started in the WHL in Red Deer, and we had work painted all over the walls in the dressing room. You learn pretty quick that work ethic is really important if you want to be successful in anything. Those kind of values get, grounded into you pretty quickly. Maybe we won't get skated if I'm late to work, but having those kind of just simple principles kind of ingrained in you from playing hockey is, I think they're very valuable.
Like most hockey players, he had an incredibly busy schedule to balance that included being student editor of the Saskatchewan Law Review and co-valedictorian of his graduating class. Even with all the successes he's achieved, hockey is still at the core of his being.
I think you learn a lot, especially kids, learn how to deal with others, all those kind of things, working towards something, plus the benefits of just, being engaged in athletic competition, all those, learning to win, learning to lose, all those types of things are really important, I think, for the youth. Plus, bottom line, it's a lot of fun, it's a great game. I still think it's a blast to play. I'm, getting old, but I still love to, lace the skates up, and I think that, there's lots of people in the community still that, feel the same way, and it's a great sport to be involved in.
From the ice rink, to the classroom, to the courtroom, Kyle Ross exemplifies everything that Western Canada's premier hockey scholarship program was designed for. After the break, we'll revisit the 2008 MasterCard Memorial Cup between the Spokane Chiefs and the Kitchener Rangers.
Most noted for its priceless moment when the Memorial Cup trophy fell into pieces on the ice, the 2008 championship game was anything but a wreck for the Spokane Chiefs, who had the unenviable task of beating the Kitchener Rangers at the odd.
The Rangers Memorial Cup champions back in 2003 when they beat the Hall Olympique in Quebec City 6-3. Spokane last won the title also in Quebec City in 1991.
Dustin Tokarski, Peter, has really come to the fore this year, ranked 9th as far as Central Scouting is concerned, and we talked about the November he had, stopping 90 of 96 shots in this event, but he really felt that he didn't get off to a good start in October, in late September, but his November was unbelievable, and he was taking flight since then. Massioli gets possession. He has a lane to the net. Big rebound there for Massenger to pick up the game's opening goal. Well, Judd Blackwater has been waiting to explode in this event. Peter, I think he's hit probably 6 posts and or crossbars. He's had several other chances where the goaltender has been better than he has. But Bill Peters really felt that this line would be key, including Blackwater, to perform and produce here tonight.
Roman wheels in. Blackwater, and he's on the board now.
Falk to Roman. Roman circles the wagons, leaves it for Blackwater, and with Eunice down, he finds that puck-sized hole, short side, blocker side. He didn't get all of it, but he got enough of it.
Kadri drops it. Duco a shot. And Stefan Ulmer blocked it. And in transition is Bowman with Mitch Wall. Wall from Seal Beach, California. Ulmer let it go through a partial screen and it went wide. This game, like you mentioned, Sam, really starting to settle in. Bowman a shot, he scores! 6th of the tournament for Grayson Bowman. And the Chiefs with their first lead.
This guy's release is unbelievably quick. He can shoot it without having to lift the stick up much.
Oh, a lot of American flavor on this U.S.-based Chiefs team.
Yeah, a little bit of everything, really. And you look at their European players, you look at some Canadians, Americans, it's a nice mix, and it's made for great chemistry in the dressing room.
Glass scores! Trevor Glass on the power play, and the Chiefs with a 2-goal lead.
Tokarski just seems to get better as more shots are put upon him.
Balling now with Blatker and Azevedo. Azevedo trying to cut to the front of the net. Does Tokarski's down? It still hits him and stays out.
It's like a piñata down there.
Oh, it's just one of those days when it's all going your way. Duco feathers it towards Azevedo. Duco, a man in front. Again they jam. Backhander. Did he stop that too? Cowan with a net empty. Scores! The Spokane Chiefs are the 2008 MasterCard Memorial Cup champions.
Well, the time was running out, and you kept making big save after big save.
Well, it's about time I did something for our team. Our D's been amazing all year, and you know, when I wasn't there, they were.
Well, as you and the rest of your teammates have told us all week long, you bought into the system that your coach laid down, and it was evident today.
Yeah, you know, we play a D-first system. You know, our offense feeds off our D, and that's what got her done.
Dustin Tokarski, this is your trophy. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Well, that wraps up another edition of the show. I'm Sam Cosentino. See you next time on This is the CHL.